Well, good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. How the heck is everybody doing here? I hope you had a good weekend. I had a dandy weekend, saw a bunch of movies, hung out with the wife, picking up the daughter on tomorrow. I'm leaving tomorrow to go get her. So house is going to be a little bit fuller for the summer. Very excited about that. But yeah, what you get? What y'all been up to, man? Can't wait to talk about our good stuff for today. It's going to be an exciting day. Exciting day talking about all. There's some good stuff. There's good stuff coming out this week, and the box office was very, very interesting. Uh, so much to get into. So much to get into. So let's just go ahead and Bob, if you will. Let's prepare ourselves to get ready. Grab a drink, grab a snack, because it is time right here, right now, for the morning mug, Bob. Hey, my friends, welcome back to the Morning Mug. Now, let's chat. All right, it is indeed time for the Morning Mug. I'm thinking about during the summer, if I get a little downtime, I may not though, but I'll get a little downtime, even though the kid's going to be here. If there's some space in between gigs, I'm thinking about maybe a new intro, and the talk has been, well, what should the breakfast be? So far, I've had over easy eggs with oranges. Now I've had waffles and strawberries. I'm thinking, what do we have? Do we do like an egg sandwich or pancakes or, what y'all think, man? Throw it out there. What should it be? Yeah, man. All right, hang on. Gotta get rid of this, Bob. Come on. All right, let's hit it. Welcome to the Morning Mug, everybody. Hit that ticker, if you will. Yeah, if you're new to the channel, please hit like, subscribe. Feel free to throw in some super chats or something if you'd like to support the channel. I appreciate that very much as well. It keeps this thing going, allows me to go out and do things, and then go shopping for you guys and all kinds of good stuff. So if you do, thank you so much. But you don't have to. It's all about love here. I appreciate that. But we're going to get into the chats and see who's in the cafe. William is here, my dude. Did a little show with William this weekend. Super fun. Yes, great having you on, being there on Saturday. So if you missed it, go to Williams Cinema, like, subscribe over there, and watch our show. It's pretty cool. Should have another one coming up soon. Hey, what's up, Dave Aroni? Hospital Pizza in-house. Look at that. Yeah, we missed you too, bud. We're doing good. Glad you're here now, though. I know. We're going to talk about that. I know. I mean... so much to talk about regarding that. I think there's something to mine with that. Really looking forward to this. Friday, you're gonna go to Disclosure Day. Nice. Yeah, I hope to squeeze it in. I'll be coming back, so daughter will be home, so I should be able to squeeze out and go see it. Mr. Moody, greetings. Oh, this is so funny. So I had to completely reset my phone yesterday. They wiped it. Everything is gone. So remember how I keep track of all the time zones? So I lost all my time zones. So I just threw a couple in there. So, if anybody wants to remind me of their time zone, I like knowing where all my peeps are, and what time it is, and in their area. So let me know. I know I'm missing some, so I know y'all will set me straight. I probably need at least I got New York in there. I should probably get a central time zone in there as well. Nice. Go see that Dolby Atmos. Did you hear what happened to the Odyssey tickets? Went on sale past weekend. Fandango website, AMC boat crashed because so many people. Yeah, man. Stuff happens. Stuff happens, man. People are ready to go see that. Certainly opening weekend. Hey. Thank you, Kelly. Yes, please smash that like button. What up, Sam? By the power of Grayskull. I said, hey. I said, what's going on? Yeah, man. You're going on. We're all going on. What up, movie lover? Yoink. Good to see you, bruh. My prediction for the Odyssey. All right, so here's the thing. That's a good question, my friend. So the Odyssey, we must remember two things. One, it's a Nolan film, so that's the plus. But two, it's also like a sword and sandal film. That's what we call those, right? It's a sword and sandal film. It's like Gladiator. I put it more in that realm than like Beastmaster, or not Beastmaster, but Troy. I think they're all in that sort of world. And those don't tend to make a billion. I know everyone, the big talk is this going to make $1 billion? I don't know. I'm prone to say no. It's, in fact, I don't think, let's see, has Nolan ever, I want to say maybe one of the Batmans might have. This is just off the cuff. He hasn't had a bunch of $1 billion movies. We all think all the Batman movies. No. In fact, the Batman, I think, crossed the billion, but the Nolan ones didn't. I might be wrong on that, but I don't know if he's had a movie cross $1 billion. Y'all let me know if you're Googling it real quick. So I think his track record is going to play the same way. I think people are excited. Tons of tickets are being sold. As Dave said, they're crashing the websites. That's all fine and good. That doesn't mean it's going to break the $1 billion mark, but I think it's going to do quite well. But like we always say with any movie, it all depends on how good the movie is. Now, if it's a great movie and it's Nolan, it could have a lot of legs. But if this one misses the mark, look, not all of Nolan's films hit the mark for me. Tenet, I did not like Tenet. It's probably way down there as one of my least favorite Nolan films. So even the best filmmakers can make duds for everybody. For me personally, it was that one. So I think it's going to do well. I don't think it'll cross the $1 billion, but after I see it, I can even weigh in a little bit heavier on if I'm right on that or not. Let's see. Chocolate pancakes sound good. Right on. Hey, well, hello, my darling. Hello. Let's talk movies, of course. Look, Caprizo's in the house. So everybody get excited. And Wilkie's here. Look at that. All the best people are here. Candace is here. Yeah, glad to see you too. Let's see. I'm really excited. In 13 days, House of the Dragon season 3. Oh, look at you. Been waiting 2 years. Is that how long? Why do those things take so long? Remember the good old days, y'all, when it was just half a year to get back to your favorite show coming back on TV? Oh, it's glorious. And they were doing 26 episodes. I get it. Production values are higher and stuff like that. But then again, HBO, they've always been a little different. I don't think they've always done that big 20-something thing. They just do whatever they want. I think Sopranos might have been like, 16 or 18 per season, stuff like that. Saying, hey, everybody. Good stuff, everybody. The Batman didn't. Okay, both of those did. Thanks, bud. All right. So, yeah, again, and those are Batman movies. It's so funny. I thought the Batman, I know it came close. So, all right. Well, there you go. So, there's two Billies, but they're all superhero stuff. Outside of that, since I did ask did he cross the $1 billion, other than Batman, he has not. If I'm taking your research there. So yeah, so it's not a Batman movie, it's a sword and sandal movie. Getting a lot of buzz, and it does have a lot of the IMAX screens, and that always helps every movie because those are like twice the price. It's so expensive, man. It costs you $50 for 2 people to go see an IMAX movie of the Odyssey. Thank you, bud. Hit that like button. Steve Areno. Yes. All right. Do you think Masters of the Universe the best movie? No, but it's really good. I don't think it's the best movie so far, but I loved it. I can't wait to talk about the box office. Also, the only Nolan movie to lose money was Tenet. It's the one I didn't care for. Oh, yeah, right. Well, I mean, anytime this stuff in 2020 and COVID's around, yeah. What'd you think of that one, Movie Lover? Did you enjoy Tenet? Are you cool with Tenet? But yeah, man. So welcome in. That's the big hello to everybody over there. Make sure you hit that like button while you're here. Since we are flapping our gums about it, let's go ahead and get to the box office. I think this is exciting to talk about because I got stuff to say, y'all. All right, Bob, if you would please put it on the screen. Thank you very much. Here we go, y'all. To the right, boom. All right, here we go. This is what the box office. Now, I did kind of predict this, except for that last movie. Did I flip those? Hold on. Well, let's see. I may have. Let me just check something. I was doing these real quick last night. Yeah, no, okay, we're right. Oh my God, it's like, man, so close. All right. Sometimes you have this envision that something's backwards, but yeah. So here we go. So Scary Movie came in first, which I thought Masters was going to be second. I did really hope Masters was going to be pushing at least the 35 to 40 million, though. 29.3 is very upsetting to me, and we'll get to why. Backrooms. Now, so here's what I also predicted happening. Those two could have flip-flopped. It came extremely close. If you look at that, 25.9, 25.6. Some more actuals came in early this morning after I'd already done the graphics. So Backrooms really is at 26.2, and then Obsession is at 25.3. So only by about a million. And Obsession's in its fourth week. Backrooms is only in its second week. It dropped 67%. Now, it did make 81 last week, something like that. So I knew it was going to have a very steep drop off, which also shows that Obsession is the better movie. I mean, it almost did 4 weeks in a row positive money, like more money than the last week. And it only dropped by 7%, y'all. Like if it just made a little bit more, if it didn't have a competition like a Scary Movie, we would have seen 4 weeks of that movie in the positive. Easy. So it's only dropped 7%. So it's the strongest holding movie we've had in a long time, probably since Michael, Sinners, movies like that just had impeccable staying power with their percentage of drops. So Obsession only at 7, so it's going to hold strong for a little while. Backrooms, I think it's not as, it didn't win people over quite like Obsession did. So look forward to that dropping at least another 50% next week. So that'll drop below Obsession. But look at number 5, y'all. Look at number 5. The Amazing Digital Circus, The Last Act. My daughter went and saw that with her friend, and she said she actually liked it, had a good time. Said that the ending didn't quite work for her, but she was impressed with it. I know nothing about this, but again, I always say never underestimate the anime or the animated crowd. Those things always sneak into top 5s when you're not looking. Here they come. What was crazy though, and it wasn't a substantially smaller amount of theaters, was Power Ballad. Power Ballad came out, and it was only in 1,200 theaters. I love that movie. I thought for sure it'd be at least in the top 10. Number 12, y'all. Number 12. So I'm shocked it was even in my theater. If it was that low, that means it's in very few cinemas. But man, it's such a good movie, y'all. Now I know it's going to keep climbing. Like it was in limited release the previous week, so it jumped up. That's 624% increase. So it's getting up there. But the question is this considered the limit of theaters it's in? 1,200? Because if it's at 1,200, and yes, it did go up 624% because it's probably in 2 theaters last week. If that's it though, that movie's not climbing out of the grave at all. So Power Ballad is really fantastic. Such a good movie. Paul Rudd, Nick Jonas, but nope, not even in the top 10, y'all. So, all right, let's focus on these and how and why they did what they did. So Scary Movie, obviously we're back. This is part 6. I'm surprised they didn't highlight the VI in there red like Scream has been known to do. So you can get the 6 out of it. And they're doing exactly what Scream did. Is the newest one is just called Scream. Does anybody else, does that drive you crazy? Like the original movie Scream, and then the last movie is just called Scream. It's not Scream, it's Scream 7. Like put a 7 on there. This is Scary Movie 6. Put a 6 on it. So I loved it. I thought it was funny, hilarious. It's very funny though, because comedy is subjective. Like any film is subjective, but comedy especially either makes you laugh or makes me laugh or makes that person laugh or that person laugh. It's not always going to make everybody laugh. We laughed. And like in our theater, we were like out loud laughing when those good jokes hit. Do all jokes hit? No. No, it was like maybe a 50-50 split. But especially for a spoof comedy, it is hard to have every joke land. But man, the opening segment, I'm not going to tell you what it is because it is probably my favorite part is that opening scene where they are and what happens at where they are. Absolutely hilarious. I mean, I was laughing so hard. Now, the other thing that's a negative towards it, though, is in the trailer you see a lot of the gags, right? Like you see the Terrifier gag. If you've seen the trailer, I'll just tee it up like this in case you haven't seen the trailer. If you've seen the trailer and you know the Terrifier gag, right? We'll just end it with that. That's it. That is the gag in the movie. So when that gag shows up in the movie, you've seen his appearance, you've seen the kids' reactions, and you've seen the parents, looking at her phone. Yeah, that's nice, honey. Tell Santa thank you. And of course, Santa is Terrifier. That's it. That whole joke is done in the trailer. So if you're looking for that really funny Terrifier moment, it'll be there. If if you're unfamiliar with but the trailer is what's making everybody go see it. But otherwise, the entire joke has been knocked out for you. So there's a couple of those things. Like any comedy, like even with the Naked Gun, when we watch the Naked Gun trailer, a lot of those jokes when he stands up and peels the face off and it's him, it's coming in the movie. So it's not as funny. So you've got to have a lot more stuff better than that joke. I thought the long leg stuff was stupid and fell flat. I didn't care for that movie anyway. So like long legs. But they have good spoofs. They spoof, obviously, Sinners is one of them. I'll just leave it at that. There's a bunch of things that are spoofed. I won't even tell you what they all are because sometimes when they come up, that's what makes them funny. But yeah, so did you see Scary Movie and did you laugh? Did you find it funny or did you think, no, nah, it wasn't that funny or it was kind of funny? Let me know because, again, comedy is subjective, but we laughed. People behind me were laughing. I was laughing. And it was a good feeling. So I feel like the weigh-ins are back. Hopefully this will mean more scary movies or projects from this team. And I'll be very excited. Now, movie number 2, Masters of the Universe. Let me just say that I was very excited for this film. I thought it looked like energetic and fun and potentially funny and all this good stuff. And look, when I went to both of these movies this weekend, I went to Masters on Friday night, and then I went to Scary Movie the next day. And I'm going to tell you, my theater was fuller for Masters of the Universe. It was almost all sold out. Not so for Scary Movie. Scary Movie was pretty good, like maybe 3/4 full, but a bigger audience. And then the audience was more receptive. I mean, other than the laughter part, but like He-Man was receptive and the crowd like stuck till the end and they were applauding and just the general vibe that I got walking out of Masters is people were very pleased by that film. Like Mandalorian and Grogu, that got kind of split down the middle. It didn't wow anybody. I don't know anybody that says, I loved it. It was amazing. No, I haven't talked to anybody that's gone there because it's okay. It's a Mandalorian movie, which feels like the TV shows. It doesn't introduce enough outside of that IP to wow you. It's not altogether that funny unless Grogu's involved. And Grogu's he's a chuckle character. Like he does his thing and you go, right? There's no giant laughs from Scary Movie, but I'm telling you, there are actually some giant laughs in Masters of the Universe because while they take it, I'm not going to even say serious. They take it realistic because it happens in the real world, but they keep that playful tone that comes from the 80s, factor, right? So it's a little bit of cheese. The comedy is really up there, especially Skeletor. I did not expect Skeletor, Jared Leto's vocal performance to be as hilarious as it was. I mean, when you watch Skeletor, he steals every scene he's in. So I don't think Jared Leto kills this movie. So to my shock, as full as that audience was and as pleased as they were, I can't believe it was this low. Now, if I'm right and that audience was really happy with it, whereas I think the Scary Movie audience was so split all over the place, loved it, hated it, in the middle, like but everybody I've talked to has really enjoyed Masters. Is I feel like Masters is going to drop off less than Scary Movie. I think Scary Movie is going to end up having a much, like maybe 60% ish more drop. He-Man might even be in the high 40s, maybe mid 50s. That's what I'm hoping to drop that, which, that's still not great because it's already not even cresting 30. But if a movie like Obsession can literally survive 4 weeks at doing better almost every single week until just now where it dropped 7%, just by word of mouth, if you guys saw it too, and you guys are putting the good word of mouth out there with Masters, it can hang in there. But not for long because we have a very packed, stacked summer coming. So it's only got a little bit of a window that it can do, that it can just hang on to make money. And we'll talk about why in just a minute. So here you go. So there it is. And of course, briefly talked about Backrooms dropping a ton. So I think that was just more of the curiosity crowd came out, saw what it was. It was okay for most people. And then it dropped accordingly. Obsession still winning people over. So there you go. All right. So that's my take on the overall box office. I hope that He-Man Masters of the Universe. Look, let me also just say this in case you haven't seen it. What I love about this is the character of Nicholas. Was it Galistine? I think I've never heard his name pronounced, so I don't know how you say it. But Nicholas did a terrific job as Adam / He-Man. And the thing is, Skeletor comes to Eternia, and he's beating up the king and all that stuff, and the sorceress sends him through this tunnel, one of those wormholes, and he ends up on Earth. So the only downside is for some people is that when he's on Earth, people are like, oh no, why isn't he in Eternia? It's okay though, because the whole point of him being on Earth is to be removed from all that stuff. He grows up, it's funny because he is already jacked. So when he becomes He-Man and he looks super muscular, it really shouldn't be a surprise because they don't hide his size like they did with Captain America, where Steve Rogers looked really skinny. No, he was okay. He was jacked. So when he becomes He-Man, it's kind of funny. He gets extra muscle. I'm like, well, all right. But the humor of being on Earth, and it's not a long time, so maybe 15 minutes or so. I didn't time it, and then he's back on Eternia, and the whole thing happens there. So it's not like the 87 Dolph Lundgren movie where all like 80% of it is on Earth to save money, and then they come back to Eternia at the end. So, but there you go. Go see it, y'all. It's good. All right, now let's just see what's coming out this Friday to give He-Man a run for its money. Of course, Disclosure Day is, in my opinion, it's going to be number one. Easy squeezy. Then there's a movie with RuPaul called Stop That Train, which kind of sounds like a game show. I haven't seen any promotions on this. Again, I go to the movies every single weekend. I've seen no trailer, no anything. This will not be top 5. If Breadwinner, who had an established comedian, could only crack and get into the 5th slot its opening week, this movie's going nowhere. Yeah. And then I always throw the Jinsai. It's probably Jinsai. One Life, 100 Years. I always throw that in there because, again, I always say you never underestimate an animated film. And it's being called a masterpiece, one of the year's best anime movies. So who knows? I don't know. I don't know the audiences for this, so we could be shocked. But it is going to be Disclosure Day. So as we like to do, let's go back up and play around, see where everything's going to fall. So, okay, the bottom one, the Digital Circus, that'll be out. Disclosure Day will come in. Take number 1, Scary Movie, because it made 55 million, even if it drops a ton. I think it still holds on to the 2nd place slot. He-Man, I'm just hoping for that very small drop. Stays in 3rd place. And then Backrooms will actually go to 5th place, and Obsessions will stay right where it is, maybe. Hey, you know what? I'm lying. We're going to flip. Obsessions has showed no sign of dropping 50%, and it's almost the same amount as He-Man, right? So if He-Man drops 50%, that's going to be way under Obsessions, right? Of course. So Obsession is going to be 3rd. He-Man will be 4th if we're using math, and then 5th place. Let's look at this again. No. Yeah. All right. So Disclosure Day, Scary Movie, Obsession, He-Man, and then Backrooms. That'll be, I think, next week's box office. What y'all think? What y'all think? That's what I think is going on. Can I pet that dog? Sorry. Y'all see that video? Can I pet that dog? No, don't pet that dog. And it was like a bear. Anybody see that little kid? Little bear comes up to her little, porch, and she's like, thinks it's a dog. This little Southern girl. She's like, yeah, pet that dog. And mom's like, no. It's just as calm as can be. Like bears show up all the time. Anyway, I digress, like I always do. Okay. Well, you know what? It's almost, well, oh, okay. I guess we've kind of ruined it all, but we'll save it. We have another conversation about He-Man coming up here in a second. Let's get back to the cafe, y'all. See who's hanging. It was, I mean, look, it was a disappointment. People wanted a bigger movie, but I enjoyed watching Dolph play the part. It was literally his first movie after Rocky IV. He certainly looked the part, and he hadn't had a lot of time to become a good actor yet. So, but it was fine. I'm going to get to that too in just a second. Hisham, you're almost teeing up my next thing. Yeah. So I will save all that for just a second. Tenet was a movie I'd watch 5 times to enjoy the first 4. Dude, that's a lot. You're okay. I give it to you, my friend. That means you have lots of love and respect for Nolan. There's something there that you want to enjoy, but it took you a long time. I would not do that for that movie. I already know I didn't care for it, and I can't watch it 5 times until I feel like I like the movie. I just got other movies I already like or that I want to experience for the first time. But man, good on you. That is commitment. Masters of the Universe, yeah, He-Man. I predict the Odyssey. That's pretty solid, Dave. I'm with you on that. Again, if it's a good movie, we just gotta look at that opening weekend, But again, things are selling out. Things are shutting down websites. So yeah, I think we're in that territory because even Oppenheimer, it got close, but no cigar. Now, Oppenheimer's buddy Barbenheimer, it did hit that billion. So they both trucked along pretty good. So we'll see how it does. What's up, Craig? What's up, Craig? Good to see you, man. Good to see that Popeye went up for pre-order on 4K. Well, hang on, dude. It's Fockers. You got to learn to spell. I know you're probably just flying through that. It's Meet the Fockers. I know it's a play on words, but sorry, I had to get off of that real quick. But yes, yes. Let's see. I've been surprised how torn the reviews were with Scary Movie. Seeing Master Universe Scary Movie double. Do it, girl. Do it. That's how I saw it. Well, they weren't the same day. Actually, my actual double feature was Scary Movie and then Power Ballad, which was a terrific double feature. They're both only an hour and a half, just slightly higher than an hour and a half, like 95 minutes each. So that was a really good double feature. But I did see He-Man the night before, so it's like having a triple feature. Yeah, man, that is a good double feature. I mean, that is a feel-good day right there. Like He-Man, if He-Man ends up being a flop, which they're already saying it is, I don't care. All I know is I hope that Amazon Prime puts it out on physical media because that thing's making my collection. And that's all I care about. So if the rest of the people didn't go see it, well, I did. And the crowd was receptive. They loved it. In fact, yeah, let me get to a few more comments and then I'm going to show you something very interesting. Very interesting that goes along with what I was saying. Let's see. Yes, perfect. Perfect. Oh, this is gonna be good, y'all. The studio greenlit live action Saturday morning cartoon. What Saturday morning cartoon would you really want on the big screen? Thundercats, Brave Star, Action Man. I would say Thundar the Barbarian. That's the one I want to see, man. Thundar was rad. I would love to see Thundar. Thundercats is cool too. I mean, there's always been stuff about Thundercats, but you know, you're gonna have to do makeup. See, people say, "Oh, the whole characters have to be CGI like Avatar." Dude, I'm telling you now, no one would green like that because it's an 80s IP. And look at He-Man. He's an 80s IP and he's not blowing up the box office. And you try and spend like all CGI money. No, you have to go make up practical effects. You've got to do, not to throw a bad movie out there, but Cats, you know, the version of the musical where everyone had the makeup. You just have to do that, you know, but badass looking, of course, not the super feline cats. But you've got to use practical makeup effects and maybe a little digital to enhance if you're going to afford making that. And look, we got great makeup artists and costume and wardrobe artists that can make those characters look great. So, you know, but I don't know. That thing's been talked about a long time. Street Shark. Yeah, extreme dinosaurs. Skeletor is the best part of the whole movie. And look, and that's not taking away from all the other cool stuff in the movie. I thought Nicholas, again, Galistine or whatever, he was fantastic as Adam / He-Man. Skeletor is just a scene stealer, is what he is. You know, he's just, you know what? And it was the same way in the 87 movie. Frank Langella was a scene stealer in that one. Hey, what's up, Nicky? Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Yeah, you got your Disclosure Day tickets all ready? Nice. Adrian. What's up, my bud? Good to see you, as always. Look at this, you guys. You slapping that like button for me? Why are you getting your haze and hellos out? Luke Ponto is in the house. What up, dude? Dude, I'm just, you know, doing my thing. Hey, that was fun. I saw your thing on TikTok where you picked the 6 horror movies. So I just clicked the little link that brought me to that girl's page. Played the game. It was fun. And then she sent a thing. Hey, thanks for using my effect. And then I responded back to her saying, yes, it was quite fun. I love that sort of, you know, camaraderie that we have on all these socials. You know, we just find stuff and share stuff and thank people. Remember to thank them. So that was neat when she noticed that I used it. And what the hell, Bobby? Redlands? I don't know nobody in Redlands. I'm gonna call that a spammer. But yeah, Steve, 12 likes. Come on, we're half hour in. These likes are getting slow, y'all. Used to be able to knock out at least 15 almost in 20 minutes. It's getting too thin, y'all. Saw Master and Scary Movie last Friday's double feature. There it is. Yes, sir. Dude, yeah, they were both fun. I had a good time with both. Like I said, I walked out of He-Man, having had a super good adventure, and then I walked out of Scary Movie laughing my ass off along with the people behind me. We were like yelling our laughs, you know. What I can't stand is when you go see a comedy and you love Luke, I forget, you and I may have talked about this, and you love something so much and you laugh really loud because it's funny, and somebody has the audacity to give you the side eye. Right? They give you that look like, could you please not laugh so loud? I'm like, so, eat it, chump. So it's a comedy. I'm going to laugh as loud as I want. As loud as this movie makes me laugh, I'm going to laugh that loud. I'm not going to cover my mouth, stifle my entertainment value. No, sir. Look, if you're one of those people that don't like to hear people laugh, don't go to a comedy in the theater. But if you like that shared experience where you laugh, they laugh, you all laugh, and it's go, man, go. Yep, there it is. Pre-order that sucker, man. Right on July 5th. Is that a Sunday? Is that Sunday? All right, because I didn't think Tony could do it. Yeah, we're going to do another stream with William and our boy Tony is going to be on there. Nice. You're going to see Disclosure Day. Oh, yeah. Oh, good luck, man. Good luck. Try double feature if you can. Yeah. Yeah, that would be a great live action movie. I'm telling you, they're gonna have to do it as makeup though. They have to do it practical because it's too expensive for an 80s IP, and we've just seen it right here with He-Man, and they spent a ton of money with that. Let's do. Oh, it's still sharing. Groovy. Here, let me show you this. So I put this poll up on my channel, and I said, "What'd you watch this weekend?" And guys, gals, look at this. 61% of you, just 33 votes. I just put this up yesterday. Said they went and saw Masters. So again, that supports the fact that my theaters were fuller with Masters of the Universe people, and yet somehow I just think Scary Movie was in more theaters. Let me see. Let me see. What is the theater count? No. Wow, Masters was in more. Scary Movie was in 3,490. Masters was in 3,677. So it potentially had the ability to make more money. It was in more theaters, which means it, Now, you probably can't quite get as many show times out of it because it is 2 hours and like 20 minutes or something like that. Scary Movie's only like 95. Like, it's pretty short, right? So, yeah, there it is. There it is. I mean, that tells you right there. But people were excited to go see Masters, and the people I've spoken to. And look, even on my poll, more people went saw Obsession again or for the first time than they did Scary Movie. And then Backrooms, surprisingly, no one said Backrooms because I think that audience has already seen the movie. So while we're here, we'll go ahead and finish it up, the chit chat with the glow of Masters. So for the 52-week movie challenge, this week 23 is a movie based on a toy or a non-video game. So it could be a board game like the movie Clue or Jumanji, something like that. And of course, toy I did to sync up with Masters of the Universe. And I put both things off to the left here, the new Masters poster and Dolph Lundgren's movie in Blu-ray because I watched them both. That morning, I watched Dolph's movie, and then that evening, I went and saw Masters of the Universe. I made it a basically a double bill. So since I figured I kind of watched the same IP, the same toy, I put them both up there. But I'm highlighting the images from the movie, the 2025 movie or 26 movie. So here we are. Again, Jared Leto, scene stealer as Skeletor. I gave the new movie 4 stars. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. It might even go up when I watch it another time. And then the original Masters, I give 3 stars just for nostalgia and the cheese factor. And look, I'm a huge Courtney Cox fan, so Courtney's in that. Dolph does a great job in it. So, look, it's not a great movie. I get it when I see people giving it 1 star, 2 stars, 1.5 stars, whatever. I get it. That's just, again, everyone interprets movies differently. But for me, I just gave it 3 stars because I liked it when I grew up. I have nostalgia for it, and I still like it now. And then there's elements of it you can really stick your teeth into. Like I love Skeletor. It's in both movies, Frank Langella or Jared Leto, they steal the scene as Skeletor. Langella kills it, and the makeup he has. He didn't have the luxury of great CGI face like Jared Leto, so they had to make that makeup work and still be able to express. Let Frank express himself and emote through that makeup, and I thought it worked great. So there you go. 4 stars, 3 stars for the 2 Masters of the Universes. Coming out next week for the challenge is watch a Steven Spielberg movie. Doesn't have to be Disclosure Day, but of course I timed it as such so that should you choose to pick Disclosure Day, it is at your disposal. And then you get to go out to the cinema, or you can watch the dozens and dozens of any of his other films for that challenge. So there you go. That's about it. I think we're gonna wrap up the Masters talk, but I had to sort of bring it back around because I realized that was the movie that is also my talking point for today. So, but there you go, guys. Just had to let me know what you thought if you enjoyed it. But how about that poll though? I'm telling you, 61% for Masters. So you guys are going to see it too. I'm guessing you guys like it too. All right, let's get back to you. See where we're at. My goodness. Hang on. Where's my marker? No, that can't be it. Hold on. Bear with me, kids. I think I just forgot to mark it. Okay, I'm just gonna start right here. There wasn't that many people at my screening for Scary Movie, but my crowd seemed to enjoy it. Yeah, kind of, like I said, same, a smaller crowd than Masters, but we laughed. We laughed really hard. So, hey, bro, you know what Sue's gonna get? No, no, you know me. You know, I don't just, sit around every day, scratching my chin, looking to the sky, thinking to myself, hey, Huck,
What's Sue gonna get? What's Sue gonna get? Hey! What's Sue gonna get? And these guys too.
how the Steelbook crew. Tell him, Sue.
What's Sue gonna get? What's Sue gonna get? I don't know, but hey! What's Sue gonna get?
Oh, yeah. Look, everybody loves that. Everybody needs that song in their life. What's Sue going to get? We don't know. We don't know. That's what this moment is. What Sue, the Steelbook crew, and you. They all got to rhyme. Otherwise, I can't do the segment. Nope. But yeah, I think it's fantastic. What did I just do? I think I just got rid of something I needed. But yeah, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. It's new release day, as we always do, y'all. So, Bob, if you will, there it is. The magic continues. Bob, you're on fire today. Well done over there. This is a really good release day, I will say. Got some crazy releases. So up top, get yourself some Communion on Blu-ray. The Burbs coming out on 4K from Shout Select. The Patriot, little steelbook there. But here's one I am most, because I'm a big Scream fan. Scream 4, yes, on 4K. Let's see if I can show it there. Let's see, where's it at? Okay, look, here, I get it. Hold on. Oh boy. So, I've got this cool Scream box, right? It's got all the Screams in 4K, and then I got part 4 there in the Blu-ray. So I will be stoked to turn this into an all 4K box. We'll just pull the Blu-ray out, maybe migrate it in there in case it doesn't have the Blu-ray, but it does say 4K Blu-ray digital on the top. So maybe I'll just, bring that to a thrift store. But I'm excited. I like Scream 4. I think Kirby, come on, Kirby, awesome. You got yourself some Bowfinger. I'm a big Bowfinger fan. That's on 4K. Scream 4 on Steelbook. I don't really care for that Steelbook. And again, it's going to throw off my box. So I'm not, And we also appreciate when people do a new release, they give us options. They give us the Blu-ray, they give us the 4K, or they give us the Steelbook. Great. Keep doing that. Stop doing it's only on Steelbook. Then 6 months later, you get the actual 4K or sort of the flip side of that, like one battle after another. You put it out. Oh, you did great. Thanks. We got the Blu-ray. We got the 4K separately with the slip, and we got a nice Steelbook. Nice. Oh, but wait. Only the Steelbook has special features. So if you're going to be a chump and only buy the Blu-ray or just a standalone 4K with a stupid slip, we're not going to give you nothing. Man, I hate that crap. Stop with that. That's what pisses me off with studios and their releasing of stuff. You made these things. People gave their time to create these bonus features, to sit down, do interviews, and you're just going to be like, and no one's going to see it unless they buy this one, which means all those other things are going to sit in a big dumpster, or we're just going to say, you know what? To heck with your bonus features then. I don't want the Steelbook. It costs too much money, or I'm not a Steelbook collector. So I will just deal with the lesser release. What's y'all's opinion of that? I don't like it. I'm telling you, I don't like it. Anyway, let's move on. Notting Hill finally getting a 4K release, which is nice because it pushes down the price of the Blu-ray, which I saw is now down to about $15 somewhere. And that thing's always been in the 20s. I've had that on a wish list for a while. It's always in the 20s. Get yourself some Marlowe coming out from Arrow. And there it is. That's that gorgeous Steven Spielberg 8 movie, Steelbook 10. Now, again, this is for collectors. It's $200. It's a nice set. I'm not going to lie. I see all these people being gifted this set, and they open it up and they say, I'd like to thank so-and-so for sending me this and so-and-so. I would like to see one person open that and say, I bought this and I'm going to show it to you. I don't get those for free. I don't get anything for free. I get some nice things. So maybe sometimes you guys are sweet and y'all send me something. It's like, hey, Huck, I want to send you a copy of this. Mr. Moody, he's going to send me a little something. But I don't have deals with people like that. And I've sent people stuff too. But, I don't know, $200 for 8 movies I already own. They're all in 4K. Most of them I have in 4K. But it is a sweet set. I don't know. If I have some sort of sudden rainfall of money, maybe I'll have it just because it is a cool collector's piece. But again, I have all those movies. It would only be necessary to have as a collector, not as a movie collector, because I have the movies, right? It would just be as a collector of things, right? I want a Spielberg collection piece. That would be what that is. So I'd like to know if any of you out there have purchased it, and if so, what do you think? So to all my fellow purchasers out there, stand strong. All right, we got your West Indies, The Fugitives, whatever that is from Criterion, Dead Mountaineers Hotel, Sailor Moon, Birds of Prey with Lino Ventura, Arcane, the animated show, A Magnificent Life, Alien 9, a bunch of anime stuff here. The Ninja Turtles. So I wonder if this is just, we're going to click on this. This might just, is this a watered down or a small version? So this is just the Blu-ray at $37. So it leads me to think this is like the non-chunky box Blu-ray version of that Ninja Turtles release. And as we predicted at some point, you always get the watered down versions, although that's pretty quick. Like the other one just came out sort of last Arrow sale. That just came out. So I'm kind of surprised we're getting that so quickly. The Gay Desperado, The Affairs of Anatole. Vertigo for a Killer. Now we get into the stuff I've never really heard of. I'm just going to skip a few things because it repeats. The Chronicles of Riddick in 4K. So if you're a big Chronicles of Riddick fan, another Arrow release. There you go. You got The Cell in 4K coming from Arrow. So if you dug that movie, cha-ching. Here. So what's funny is, okay, yeah, so this isn't the Bob Zemeckis movie that came out a few years ago. It's a show, I guess, here, because it says 2019 to 2023, so it must be a series. We'll get to the bottom row here. Let's see. Death at Love House looks like a Robert Wagner movie. Bloody Horror. Diana, the Definitive Portrait. Communion on Blu-ray. Is that the same thing? What do they have up here? Look at this. Communion on Blu-ray. Repeated again at the bottom. Communion on Blu-ray. Yeah, okay. And The Trouble with Turkle. So there it is. So, I skipped Narc. But Narc's been out already. So, again, this is just another. It's a 4K standard edition. So, it's not a chunky box. But there you go. So, we got some good bangers in this one. I would say for me, Scream 4, Bowfinger, Notting Hill, maybe, or that may get me to buy the Blu-ray of Notting Hill. Just save a little dough on that. But I don't know. That Spielberg thing, like I said, if I get like a bonus or something, Spielberg is my favorite director, so I'm inclined to want to. I'll say this. I want it. But yeah, that'll have to be got mortgage and stuff to pay. So wife be like, we're short $200 on mortgage. What happened? This? So anyway, there it is. Soon the Steelbook Crew and you and this guy. That is what we have waiting for us here on Tuesday. What are you going to get? What's in your cart? What do you want in your collection? Are you going to get that Spielberg thing? Or are you just be like, nope, that's a double, triple dip. I don't need those Steelbooks. I mean, I was going to click on it and show it to you, but I think you guys have all seen it in everybody's review who all say, I was sent this by so-and-so. So, it's the Leto effect. It's like a fly just coming in and land on my face. I know, right? But the thing is, he's really good in this, right? He finally did good. I thought he was okay in Tron Ares. He wasn't great. He doesn't stand out, but maybe it's because we're not seeing his face. I didn't care for like what was that? It's more Morbius. Didn't care for that. It's Morbin time, although that is pretty funny. I don't know. I know, man. The Leto effect. I wish it wasn't. I mean, it's easy to point and say that's it, but I will say this. Like, even after this, like, oh, people are going to love Leto in this. It'll finally put him up there. It didn't do it. So now I feel like people are like, you know what, Leto, we're just going to put you back down to the indie movies or the dramas. Stay there. Get out of our big IPs. You just don't sell tickets for big IPs. Don't put him in Dune. For God's sake, don't put him in Dune. What? They make a Silence of the Lambs being a Saturday morning cartoon 90s and kid friendly. I don't even know how you do that. He'd have to not eat people. He'd have to eat breakfast. I think he would have to eat healthy things, right? Like, I mean, that really makes me scratch my head, Asham. Turn that into a Saturday morning kids cartoon. It's kind of funny to think how you'd make that work, though. But I think he'd have to eat healthy snacks. Why he's in jail, I don't know. Maybe he stole them. He stole them because he doesn't like paying for his stuff. Start off this week with the Lego Batman. Nice. I like how you did Lego. That's good too. See, that's a good toy. DC Superheroes Unite. Then I watched Clue. Yeah, I saw that you watched Clue, man. That was a good pick. And Dungeons and Dragons. That's such a good movie, dude. You did good. You banked on this week. Yeah, man. Good on you. That's good. I actually watched a Clue documentary that was on. Oh, what was it on? Maybe Prime. It was on my TV as sort of a recommended to you. So when I clicked it, I kind of forgot what service it brought me to. But if you look out there's this Clue documentary that's out there. It's about like an hour and 40 minutes or something. It's pretty good. It's not shot that great. I always laugh when people have the ability to make documentaries and it's just, I don't know. Maybe they just don't have money for a photographer. They're not that great at setting up lights and making images look good. They look a little wonky. I don't know. But the content is fantastic. All the actors sort of show up here and there. Some of it might even be appearances on other shows, and they got the rights to use those. Sadly, we never see anything from Madeline Kahn other than stuff that's on the, from the show, from the movie. But man, good job on the challenge, man. That's good. You might have to watch. I say, do it, man. Do it. Come on. Still not at 15 likes. All right, where are we at? I'm going to go to the mug right now. Here we go. I'm looking. I'm doing my own research. Just got to hit refresh. Where are we at? I'm gonna find out, people. Where 14? All right. Sounds like you guys want me to cut it short today. 14. I only see 14, Dave. But I mean, if you see me, sometimes it takes a little longer for it to, I don't know, marinate over here. But I'm gonna be watching Lego Movie this week. Nice. I'll be watching Munich. Oh, really? Really? You're not gonna see Disclosure Day? Wow. I mean, Munich, good pick though. Well, let's go, Ben. Let's see. I like Masters. I live in OKC, so found it funny. That's where he ended up. Oh, that's funny. Although London and Oklahoma look very different. Yes, they do. How is it over there in Oklahoma? I got put. Is that? Hang on. Where is that at? Is that Central? They don't even give it as an option on my phone. But there you go. All right. Okay. Prince is here. What up, Prince Dog? Morning, Chappy. Doobie Doos. Chappy Doobie Doos. Is that like a Scooby-Doo? Y'all see the stuff with Scooby-Doo coming out? I think it's going to be a Netflix show. Got a real dog this time. It's like not a CGI dog. What do we think of that? A real actual hound dog, in the role of Scooby. I think it's going to be more of an origin story. I've only seen some images, so I don't know. Is it going to talk? Is it going to say anything? It is like a series, so I don't know. I hope, and I think it's Greg Berlanti, so I hope it doesn't get turned into Is that who it is? Greg Berlanti? I know he did a lot of the CW stuff, but he turned Riverdale into sort of that moody little teen angst show, which I didn't care about. It didn't even hire a redhead to play the part, which, us redheads, we get offended if you don't actually hire a good redhead, because there are plenty of great redhead, actors out there. But no, you got to hire this guy, dye his hair a really unnatural red. It looked like, anyway, it's terrible. So I hope it's good. I hope it's not like that show. And is Scooby going to talk? Is he going to talk like Babe or, Sheep Detectives, where his mouth moves, but the dog does stuff? That could be fine, right? But if he doesn't talk, the whole charm, it's like with Masters of the Universe. Don't lose what makes it kind of fun, right? And Skeletor, but he didn't. Skeletor had a more menacing voice, which I appreciated. But he said funny things, and he did like funny poses and stuff. Scooby still has to be playful. I mean, it's based on a very playful IP, and Scooby talks. So, well, watching like go up to the last episode, and he's just like, Raggy, one word, ruh-roh. So it's like, really? Okay. Man, you go all the way. That's all you get. Not planning on pick up anything. Yeah, get ready. Getting Ready or Not 2. Nice. Dude, I love Ready or Not 2. I thought it was a great sequel. Looking forward to putting it right next to Ready or Not Part 1. Yep, still awake. Look at you, man. Nicely done. Where you at, Prince? Where you at, Prince? Did I forget? Where you at? I'll put you in my global calendar, my global time zone. Yeah, my memory is shot. I don't always remember exactly where everybody is. Although, like, Adrian James, people like that, it's just burned into our brain. He's our British brother. Yep. Prince, Luke. I'm watching my K2 and In the Gray tomorrow. Nice, Nikki. What up? Hey, Coffee Man. Says I have the Patreon 4K on Steelbook order. I'm just waiting for the email notification. Demands on the way. Nice. I really want that Spielberg Steelbook set, but it has to go down at least 165. I know. It needs a price drop. There's only so many, and we're going to find out how many people are loaded with money. Look, I'd rather spend that money on the Jackie Chan box that's coming out from Arrow and the Stranger Things box, because that's content I don't own physically, right? I own all the Spielberg stuff physically. I don't own either of those. I mean, I know I own some of the Jackie Chans, but some of those it's still on DVD. I don't even have on Blu-ray. So all that is just a gorgeous upgrade. And then, of course, to get that whole Stranger Things stuff in that sweet box set, that's where I want my money to go. It'll just feel better having stuff of that nature. I know Tony buys his stuff, man. Tony buys stuff. I mean, once in a while, I feel like maybe people send him stuff, and Tony's super nice. I needed a few slip covers, and Tony sent me some slip covers, and yeah, I mean, it's just I love them. We all do that for each other. I think I had a friend send me. They found a copy of Steel Frontier. They wanted me to autograph it. For those who don't know, I'm in the movie, so I autographed it and mailed it back to him. It's fun. This community does fun stuff. But yeah, Tony buys his stuff. He's a buyer. Yep. Saving up, John Doe. What up, Jeff? What's going on, man? Jeff in the house. Yeah. Look at you getting your haze in there. 14. So it went down. See, you told me earlier it was 15. So somebody undid their like. That makes me even sadder, people. You're undoing your likes. Why? Come on now. Let me hit refresh. Yeah, still 14. Sad day. All right. I have to start wrapping it up, I guess. I get it. I take the hint. It's all good. No, they're not going to do it, Dave. They're not. That they've already left the building. You guys are the only ones who did it. And what's funny is when these are all done, there's usually under 200 people watch these. I always hoped that these would catch on. These morning meds, it's been routine. We're almost at 200 episodes. But yeah, they don't get higher views than I would like. But still, I like where they are. But 100 and something to 200 views per these things, and they only get about 15 likes. I mean, and a lot of those people keep coming back and watching these, which I greatly appreciate. Everybody that watches these, just slap it. It don't take you no time. Just click the like. It does do stuff for the channel. It does help the algorithm with the channel. It helps put it out there when people are looking for stuff like this. It sends a little cred to my channel. Is Scooby going to be shaggy like Crypto? Yeah, I know what you're saying. I see where you're going with that. I hope not, because that's all an entirely different vibe of Scooby-Doo. I mean, it's based on a cartoon where a dog talks. So you take that away and you are making something different. You're not really making Scooby-Doo. I mean, yes, you've got the other 4 characters. You've got them in the Mystery Machine. I've seen shots of that. They got the I love that van too. That Mystery Machine van is rad. We have it up here at Universal Studios sometimes where little cast members come out and zoinks and they talk like the characters. And it's great. But Scooby's got to talk, y'all. Scooby's going to have to talk. For it to really be a Scooby-Doo, I mean, unless you're changing the name of the show, I assume they're going to call it Scooby because Scooby's the most popular IP portion of that, franchise. That IP is his name. So if you call it Mystery Incorporated or the which has been a cartoon already called that, I don't know what else you could call it that would get people to go see it other than Scooby or Scooby-Doo or Scooby something. Yeah, I don't know. I hope it's not like, because Crypto doesn't talk unless you're watching League of Super Pets where they all talk, which is fine. It's a really great movie, by the way. That thing was so much more entertaining than I thought it was ever going to be. I was laughing. Thought it was a grand old time. But yeah, Crypto is just, he has superpowers, but he can't talk. So at least the one thing Scooby has is he can talk. So let's give him that superpower, right? That's one thing he has over Crypto is he can talk. I don't know, Dave. I don't believe you. I'm not even going to refresh anymore. We'll just sign out and see what it is. Saying hey to his mom. You bought the Stranger Things box sets. My wallet. I know. So me too. It's on pre-order. But they don't take your money, though, until it comes in. Right? So I'm waiting for that to get drained out of the account. Tony is a treasure. Of course he's a treasure. Love that guy. He's an OG, man. I really need some slipcovers for some movies. If anyone has, send me. That's very broad, Dave. You'll have to, throw some title. You have to, say something. Like I told Tony I needed, I got my Sinners in 4K from a sale, and it's the only one from the whole sale I got that had no slipcover. And he goes, I have a spare. So yeah, I just asked, and he was very sweet. And he said it is, of course, Tony. He's just Tony. He's great. I deserve to be bigger. Well, thank you, Jeff. I agree. I'm putting in the time. Yeah, I can host like the best of them. Just I don't know how to turn that corner, my friend. I don't know what to do to change things. No, guys, I don't want to quit the morning mug. Yeah, I know. My channel's fun. I try to keep it that way. It used to be more fun because I had the trivia and stuff, but everyone kept jacking up prices, man. I can't just keep paying for stuff all willy-nilly. StreamYard's terrible now. It's like, I don't know, $50 a month. It's like, come on, guys. So I do need to look, KB's giving me some names of some other ones. I just have been lazy with trying to research and play with the other programs. But at some point, there's Restream and all kinds of other stuff. So at some point, because I'm certainly not going to pay more for this. And then if I can achieve my trivia contest using a different platform in the free mode, or at least the cheap mode, if it's like $15 a month, I'll do that. 20's tops. 20 is an okay amount to get a lot of people on and do some fun stuff. I'll do that. But come on, y'all, 50. And I only really stream, like dedicated stream, 4 times a month, which are these 4 morning mugs. And then now I'm adding 4 more. So it's 8 because we do our 52 movie recaps. So that's, that's pretty good. I don't stream every day like some of the people, like old John Campia out there, every weekday anyway. Nice. Thank you, bud. Appreciate that. Yeah, she agrees. Noah, don't cancel the mug. All right, that'll be you. All right, not yet. We ain't got there yet, Dave. I paid Orbit the moment it hit pre-order. Oh, uh, right. So Orbit though takes your money right away, right? That's the difference. That's why you've already been hit with the youch in the wallet. Because I almost did Orbit until I sort of stuck it out just another week, and then Amazon matched that same pre-order price. So I'm like, okay, I'll do it on Amazon because they get the free shipping, and if something's munched on it when I get it, I can send it back because it's expensive. I don't want some Ace Ventura dude kicking my stuff down the hallway before I receive it. That was so funny. Sherlock Holmes, Game of Shadow. Right on. Hey, William. Huck and Chat. Thank you, man. Thank you. You have a good day too, brah. Get out there and have a good one. And may I be a part of a 2-week challenge? Recap coming up soon. Just asking. Yes. Well, you just have to let me know if it's a week you watched things on. Like, so some people I watch and they say, well, I didn't really watch any for the week or anything like that. But if you do you play along and hit every week? It doesn't have to be every week. I do ask people, how'd you do? Some people said, oh, I missed a week or so. But yeah, reach out to me on Instagram and let's see which one we can get you on. Again, we do them at the end of every month. It depends on where the month ends. I think June ends like on a Tuesday or Wednesday. So I'm not going to go into July because that's also like July 5th, the weekend, or July 4th, so we're going to do it like we did with May. There was still like 1 day left in May, but I still did it like on May 30th or not 31st, something like that. And so we just do it it's basically we're doing 4 weeks at a time, unless a month does perfectly end so that it ends up being 5 weeks. But we try to just do them 4 weeks at a time. It's just easier on the stream, makes it go by a little quicker. Yeah, man, I know. Being surprised by something I forgot to put. I know. Yeah, and Dave also pointed out that they have Daylight back up for pre-order. And it's so funny because I just kept that in my thing for the longest time. And it said, okay, you've got the pre-order locked in. And it's whatever, as low as it got was like 34 something. So I had that. And as soon as I removed it, of course, as soon as I removed it, it took that 35 away and instantly just put it at $45, which is what it is right now. I'm like, what? So I literally hosed myself by taking it off because I didn't know when it was ever going to come back. I know they're sitting in a warehouse. There were problems with the transfer. I remember seeing Ken's review and he's like, yeah, your Blu-ray's better than this garbage they did anyway. So maybe they fixed it all and they're ready to share it with us. So now I lost that pro, but I'm not. Look, I like Daylight. I think it's one of my favorite Stallone films, certainly in the action genre. But for a regular, like Kino 4K, $45. See, this is what I guarantee you, Jeff. This is what they're doing. They saw how upset everybody was, how desperate they got when it came out, but then it went away. Some people actually ended up getting them because they had the pre-order in. Like I know Ken got his copy, but then a lot of people didn't. Like some people that pre-order didn't get their copies. It was very weird. So they're like, oh yeah, we got people desperate to get that Daylight because they think we're going to just take it away like we did last time. So let's jack up the price. Like that was not your price. That wasn't even the starting price when it first came out. Like it didn't start at 45 and then come down to 34 or whatever. It was in that 30 something area the whole time. So we shall see. I'm slow playing that one, y'all. Have a great day, William. Yep, check it. Oh, by the way, we get ready for some this versus that. We're going to start playing that and then wrap this sucker up for the day. Yeah, I think I thought we responded to that. No? Yeah, I'll go look, man. All right. It's so funny. I just mentioned it. Yeah, this versus that. So we're going to start doing it in just a second. Daylight will be under 25 on the first Kino sale after release. You think? All right. All right. Well, that's what I'm going to wait then. You know, me and you, Jeff, you know, we're not hungry for day ones. We don't play that. Yeah, that's, you know, we'll wait for that sale then. When it gets to that, that's fine. Yeah. Again, some things you just have to weigh in your collection and go, how often, how bad do I want this? You know, you also want this hobby to be affordable and fun and pleasurable, not like sucking all your money out and just, you know, you feel bad about collecting because everything's so pricey. You know, nowadays, just to get one movie, you have to get that, you know, paying 4 easy installments on Amazon just to get a freaking 4K. So, all right, I see it. Mr. Moody's ready to go. All right, let me get the graphic ready for the show. All right. I'm excited to see what you guys come up with. Whoops, hit the wrong button. But here it comes. Hang in there. It's come. We're teed it up slowly but surely. Boom, there it goes. Ba-bam. All right, y'all. It is now time for a little this versus that, where you throw 2 things at me. 2, not 3 or 4, but 2 things. And we will try by a process of elimination to select one that we like over the other. Let's see. Let me wait. There we go. Let's get like nice framing here. Anything for you guys. See? Perfection. Look at that. See? All right, here we go. All right. First up, Steve throws out a little Carrot Top. A little ginger there versus Pauly Shore. Wow. Bottom of the barrel on this one, Steve Areno. Yeah, Carrot Top and Pauly Shore. I'll say this. I don't care for Pauly Shore that much. I know Pauly is part of a certain generation that likes him, and I know he's in movies like, isn't he? He's like Encino Man, and I don't know, I'm not even gonna rattle off Pauly Shore movies. They just don't make me laugh. You know, hey, buddy, chiggy, whatever. But Carrot Top has actually made me laugh. I've seen some stand-up stuff. He's fellow ginger, so I gotta give a little extra credit on that. So yeah, look, man, good old Carrot Top over Pauly Shore. Sorry for those Pauly Shore lovers out there, but no can do. All right. Lifestyles of the rich and the famous versus MTV Cribs. Wow. Very different shows. Lifestyles of the rich and famous with your host, Robin Leach. Nailed it. And MTV Cribs. I mean, look, Cribs is funny. Here's what I'm going to say. I would probably just instantly go with Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous because I watch that more. But MTV Cribs created a spoof of itself with Star Trek and what looks to be like our boys at Robot Chicken, right? They took the dolls, the Star Trek dolls figures, and animated them so it was Star Trek Cribs. So it was Kirk's house, and Spock is there, and you know Scotty's the DJ. If you guys haven't seen it, just do Star Trek Cribs. It is to die for, and it's hilarious. And Kirk is in the kitchen eating roast beef, and Spock walks in there and goes, "Yo, James, what you doing, son?" They're all like gangsters stuff. He goes, "Just having some roast beef, Spock." He's like, "Oh, Kirk loved that roast beef." You just gotta see it. It's hilarious. So because Star Trek's one of my favorite shows, and MTV Cribs gave me that, they shall take the victory. See, sometimes it's just a thing like that makes me sway one way or the other. Pepperoni and cheese pizza versus mushroom and ham. Mushroom and ham? I'm just not even gonna waste time. Pepperoni and cheese. Now, if that was mushroom and beef or something like mushroom and ham, I always feel like the ham has to go with the Hawaiian pizza. You do the ham with the pineapple, and you just get out of my house with that. But mushrooms, I love mushrooms. Well, actually, if you throw the mushrooms, here's what I'll do, Dave. Take the mushrooms from that nasty ham pizza, throw those on there with the pepperoni, and there's your pizza. So, pepperoni, mushroom, and cheese for the win. There you go. Saturday Morning Cartoons 80s versus Saturday Morning Cartoons 90s. Look, here I am. I was already checked out of the Saturday Morning Cartoons because I was already into college, already moved out here, already starting to get jobs. So I didn't do the Saturday morning cartoons, 90s, but 70s and 80s, all day, every day. So that is an easy victory for me. I mean, look, with me, I had, Scooby and the Gang, and you had the Super Friends, and you had Johnny Quest, and you had, the Looney Tunes and all that stuff. And then the 90s is more of the newer iterations that work for that generation. But for me, it was the OG Hanna-Barbera stuff takes the win. You might be a little young. I'm a little young for this. California Coolers and Zima. Oh no. I'm well aware. I appreciate that though. California Coolers and Zima. California Coolers. See, interesting. I'm gonna have to go. It's gonna sound weird. I'm gonna have to go with Zima on this one, just because I grew up in Louisiana when Zima was the thing, right? Zima, Bartles and James, stuff like that. Couldn't get enough of that weird stuff. And Zima was interesting. It wasn't a beer, it wasn't lemonade, but it was something kind of in between, and it was good. It was fine. California Coolers. I don't even think we had them that as prevalent as Zimas. So now if it was more against Bartles and James, that'd be tough because they were trying all these different Bartles and James flavors. But because of California Coolers, I know I'm in California, but we're going Zima for the win. There you go, out of the way. Disaster. Okay, Daylight versus Dante's Peak. Again, this is a slam dunk for me. I think Dante's Peak is an okay movie with the volcano and stuff, but Daylight is so good. Daylight's has got the pace, the cast, the Stallone. I think it's just got a lot more going for it, movie-wise, production-wise, pace-wise, actor-wise, than I think Dante's Peak does. And look, no shade. I love me some, Pierce Brosnan and Lynn Hamilton, but Daylight's also got Viggo Mortensen in that thing. Yeah, I love that. I want to say we did. Oh, okay. So on this one, Jeff, last week we did Mad TV versus SCTV. So that was interesting. Now we're going SNL versus Mad TV. So here's the deal. Here's the deal when you get to these sketch comedy things is you have to take out their longevity. Saturday Night Live is still going. Mad TV was, I don't know what it was, 10 seasons or something. They even tried to bring it back with an all new, diverse cast that I think lasted a season. I don't think it went more than a season. But it's about the comedy you get from each one and how much they land. SNL has some great sketches, but it also has a lot of bombs. Here's what I'm going to... Okay. How am I going to rate this, though? This was hard. I'm going to say for comedy, I really feel that Mad TV was better. I think Mad TV is one of the greatest sketch comedies that people don't talk about enough. I think it's up there like In Living Color and Mad TV. Per minute, per laugh, both of those sketch comedy shows are superior than anything. And I'm talking, look, SCTV, great actors, great characters, but I wasn't laughing out loud funny. SNL, too many misses. But when they hit, they are great, and they've got great actors, and they've gone on to do great things. But for the show itself, and the amount of times I laugh, I always feel like it's more often in Mad TV. So for the laughs, I have to go Mad TV. All right, The Goonies versus Monster Squad. All right, those are pretty evenly matched. Again, Monster Squad is another one of those flicks that didn't really resonate with me when I first saw it. Didn't really grow up with it. The Goonies, produced by Spielberg, directed by Richard Donner. Great cast, little Ki Kwan early in there. So for me, this is just kind of an easier thing because Goonies hit me and Monster Squad did not. So Goonies is going to take that win. Okay. Piranha versus Anaconda. My Anaconda don't want... Anyway, so Anaconda... I mean, these are about as trash as you can get. All right, look. Okay. I'm going to go with Anaconda for the win on this because Piranha, it's super cheesy and fun. However, since you are parenthetically stating 1978 and 97, Anaconda 97, I think, has a little bit more going for it than that. Now, if you did the current Piranha, the one that came out with Chris O'Connell, what is his name? Not O'Connell. Yeah, Chris O'Connell. No, that's not even O'Connell. Jerry O'Connell. With Jerry O'Connell, you know, with with the piranhas that are eating his junk and stuff, I would have picked that. Like if you gave me the current Piranha easily, I would. I laughed at that. It was gory. It was funny. That is easily the win. But you picked 1978, so because of that, we're going with Anaconda, 1997. Barnes and Noble versus Amazon. Interesting choices, you guys kind of doing these things. So it's tough to go against Barnes and Noble because they are our last brick and mortar store, or certainly one of the last, where you can go in, where you can browse around, where they have sales actually, and they have sections. Like I was just in there the other day and I went in to see if there was a sale in any particular brand, because sometimes I walk in there, I'm like, oh my god, there's a 50% off Paramount that I had no clue was happening, and there it is. So, and then Amazon just copies everybody. It's like, oh, this person, you know, as soon as Criterion has a sale, Amazon has a sale on all their Criterion. You know, Arrow's got a sale, boom, Amazon's got that sale. So I love Amazon. I use it all the time, like everybody else does. Love the convenience, the comfort, do it from here. But I just want to give Barnes & Noble this win. I'm going to give it to them. Barnes & Noble, I get to walk in there, browse through your store, grab a coffee at your Starbucks, sit down, look at the games, look at the puzzles. Amazon, you just have to kind of already know what you want. You know, I don't really browse Amazon unless I'm browsing the movie deals. But I'll browse the store. So I'm going to give the win to Barnes & Noble. Hey, like that, Dave. All right. I knew this was coming at some point. You got to, I mentioned this last week. If you wanted to make this more of a challenge, I think it was James Bond versus Jack Ryan. It's a slam dunk. Jason Bourne, a lot closer than James Bond. Again, here we go. A pretty good match. I think Bourne has got that really good hand-to-hand combat that Bond doesn't really have that. Now, Daniel Craig changes our mind on that because he's pretty physical and he gets into some good fisticuff fights. But Bond is also known to have a lot of extra things to help him along the way, gadgets, cars, and stuff like that. Whereas Bourne doesn't really have that stuff. So which do I like? So I'm going to lean, because there is one thing about Bourne I don't like. Okay, while I do love the good physical and a good choreographed fight, Bourne doesn't know how to show it to you. Bourne also is guilty of bringing in that stupid shaky cam. So when he gets in there and he's having a fight, the camera's got to be moving and stuff. So much so that James Bond copies that in Quantum of Solace, that the whole movie just feels like a Jason Bourne movie to me. It's got the shaky cam stuff. I don't even see what Bond is doing. It's always been about great choreography, stunts, all that stuff. Let's see the stunt. Let's see the fight. And Bourne gets a little too close. Sometimes they're good, though. Like that fight when he rolls up the magazine. Somehow that they kept it so that you could still see what's going on. So I love that fight. It's probably one of the coolest fights put on film. But because of that being a little too distracting for me, I'm going to go with that purism of James Bond takes the win. Judge Wapner versus Judge Judy. That's so funny. All right, Wapner's like the OG though, right? I mean, Wapner kind of is the first, I think. Judge Wapner, today's people, right? But Judge Judy, look, that lady, I love it. She's got so much sass in her. Like Wapner was cool, but who's more fun to watch? Let's be honest. It's Judge Judy. Judge Judy's way more fun to watch. So we're gonna give her the win on this one. Oh my God, what is all this? The third superhero movie, You Really in the Future Zorro 3, starring Antonio Banderas, versus Hellboy 3 with Ron Perlman. Oh, I see what you're saying. So a third movie that hasn't been made yet, which would I pick? A Antonio Banderas Zorro Part 3 or a Hellboy Ron Perlman Part 2? You know what? I just think, here's the thing. Because I'm just sort of going off the reality, like what if they can happen now? Antonio just is too old to play Zorro. Like he would be playing the Anthony Hopkins character now. Like he's just too old. Like I'm not gonna buy it. I get it. We're getting Brendan Fraser. He's coming back in The Mummy, but he's also in his 50s. He's not as old as Antonio. Antonio is older than that. And Ron Perlman, I get, is old too. But guess what? Perlman has the luxury of hiding behind makeup. So really, they can make Hellboy feel just like he feels in the last movie, visually, right? And then Perlman's voice is still pretty strong. So I think we would get more. And you let Guillermo del Toro, as I think it was like Benicio, Guillermo del Toro direct it. On top of that, I think you got to win with Hellboy 3. Little Caesars versus Domino's. Pan. So you got your Domino's and your Little Caesar guy. I don't know. I might have to lean to Domino's on this just because we have more Domino's out here. I use them more often. But I will say when I do get near a Little Caesars, they seem to give you more. Well, like they give you I don't know, a better deal than Domino's, I think, because they are sort of under, let's face it, they're under Domino's, and they're always fighting for that second banana thing. Oh, what the heck? Like Barnes & Noble, let's give it to Little Caesars. Yeah? Come on, Little Caesars. They're fighting their tush off to be right up there with Domino's. Well, I like them both. I'm going to give it to Little Caesars. Why not? Laren is here. Good morning, sir. All right, Hungry Howie's Pizza. Oh, I just did Little Caesars. I don't know what Hungry Howie's is. That must be a local thing, bro. So Little Caesars still going to take that one because I'm not familiar. We don't have a Hungry Harry's out here. Sounds good though. I'm going with props here. The hacky mask from Heat and the nun mask from The Town. Oh, that's very specific. I mean, I don't know. That's such a strange but kind of cool question at the same time. I'll just go with the nun mask from The Town for no particular reason, because these are both so interesting. I don't know how to sort of pit them other than just to kind of visualize them in my head and then go, let's go with the nun mask from The Town. The best building movie poster, Dark Knight or The Raid. So that have a building in the shot. The Raid is cool, but the Dark Knight does the cool stuff in the buildings. Like it sort of shatters enough of the building so that it's sort of in the shape of the bat, like the debris and the rubble is in the shape of the bat. So yeah, because of that, I think they're doing something visually more interesting with the building. I'm going to go with the Dark Knight on that. Evil Dead 2. Laren coming out with Evil Dead 2 versus Army of Darkness. So this is the thing. I think you are either the Army of Darkness fan, and that is your favorite, or you're Evil Dead 2. I'm the Evil Dead 2 guy, right? Now, that said, I like Army of Darkness, but Evil Dead 2 just sort of does it for me. I love when he goes psycho. I love when his hand comes alive, starts smacking him around and shattering glass, gets the chainsaw. Who's laughing now? Oh, my God. So, yeah, just for me, because of when I grew up and how I saw these, got to go Evil Dead 2, man. Moodmeister, Mrs. Latte. Donald Duck versus Daffy Duck. The Great Duck Debate. So I'm gonna go. So you got Donald. He's got some pretty high-powered friends. I'll say that. Yeah, Donald's got the high-powered friends, and he's got the mouse. Daffy doesn't really have a high-powered friend. He kind of has an a-hole friend. And in fact, it's debatable whether they're true friends or not with Bugs. But I think the people and the stuff around Daffy always around Donald makes him look a little more interesting than he is, especially with his speech impediment. Right, nobody can understand him. Whereas Daffy, you can understand him, and he's goofy as hell, and he's hilarious. So I'm a Daffy Duck guy all the way. That whole, Looney Tune stuff is just it's got to be Daffy Duck to me over Donald Duck. In living color. Yep. That Shatner parody of Seven on Magic. I know, dude. Anything, I will say this too. And even when Key and Peele came on there and they were doing like the Obama stuff, that was hilarious. But when Will Sasso, anytime he does any Steven Seagal bit, I'm in. I'm all in. I'm laughing. He's just like, got the face and he's just beating up crew members. I'm like, God, he just nails it. Like they just don't nail it like that on SNL. And also, SNL, it's also live. Now, Mad TV is in front of a live audience, but it's not aired live, right? So that they have the ability to edit if they need to. Maybe that's why it's, I don't know. They break character more on SNL, which I don't mind. Like if you do something so funny, like when Heidi like turned around and she saw the Beavis and Butthead and she couldn't, that is legit the best break you could ever have on TV, and it's worth every golden second. But when it's just two actors, like when Horatio Sands and Jimmy Fallon would just make each other laugh, I'm like, guys, I get that you two think you're both funny, but I mean, we're not laughing. So when you break character, we smile because you can't hold it together, but we're not laughing like we did with Heidi. Like when Heidi loses it, we see why she's laughing because that makeup effect, golden. So yeah, shit, I'm telling you, man, it's good stuff. Pierce Brosnan, James Bond versus Daniel Craig. Well, let's see. Interesting. Because you really got to kind of sit and think about this because they're two different Bonds. Like Pierce is more of like sort of a greatest hits, right? He's a little Roger Moore. He's a little Sean Connery, but he's also himself because he's got that sort of, Remington Steele quality in him as well. And that's fun. It's fun to see. And he's got the gadgets and all that. Daniel Craig's just more of a bruiser. He's a little bit more like Connery in that regard. He's more physically aggressive and stuff. But he didn't really have all the Bond stuff. And in his 5 movies, he had some cars, but they were never exciting like Pierce. And Tomorrow Never Dies, when Pierce has literally, he's in the back seat remote controlling the car. That is one of the greatest car chases I've ever seen, man. And the way it ends with he just sends it over the edge. I mean, like that's what makes Bond fun. So I'm gonna lean on Pierce Brosnan. Again, I know I love Craig, but I'm just going with as a James Bond. I feel like Pierce gets to have a little bit more fun with all those Bond tropes that Craig just doesn't, So we're gonna go with Pierce Brosnan. All right, Ethan Hunt. Okay, well, let's see. David Webb / who's David Webb? Oh, because that, yeah. This is easy for me because I'm a much bigger Mission Impossible fan than Jason Bourne fan. I've got all the Mission Impossibles over here. I don't even think I own a Bourne movie in my collection. So yeah, I mean, I think Cruise's Ethan Hunt, they're more exciting every movie as they went up and up and up, except for the last 2. Unfortunately, they all got better and better. And Jason Bourne is just, they're all kind of even for me. So yeah, we're on this one. Sorry to the Jason Bourne fans, but he's gonna lose again to Ethan Hunt. I'm glad you agree, Laren. They are literally the best. Captain Boomerang versus Bullseye. Getting into the lower tiered villains here. Look, because it takes a lot of guts to call yourself Captain Boomerang and sell it. We're going Boomerang on this one, man. And look, Boomerang actually came around on the CW. They brought the character in. I want to say, was it Arrow? I'm trying to remember where I saw him. I feel like it was on Arrow. Even though I know he's a Flash actor, I feel like, anyway, it was on one of the CW shows. And he was cool, man. I was like, hey, Boomerang, nice. So, yeah. And then Bullseye is fine. We've had him in a couple of Daredevil iterations, but yeah, Captain Boomerang. Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, Robin Hood Men in Tights. Men in Tights is silly. That one doesn't crack me up like I wanted it to, but I love Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. So if we're duking it out for the Robin Hoods, we're going Prince of Thieves on that one. Oh yeah, I figured it out. Yeah, it's all good. All right, we're gonna wrap this up here in just a second, y'all. So I guess we're good. So no need to add any more. We'll end it with the last couple here. Best Japanese superhero: Ultraman versus Camden Rider. Camden. This is going to be an easy one for me because I didn't really grow up on the Kamen. Sorry, I think I said Camden. Kamen Rider. Ultraman was the thing I grew up with. He had this little thing and he held it up, pushed the button on it, and turned into Ultraman. Man, I don't know why. I just thought that was the coolest thing. He has a pen in his pocket and he pushes the button and becomes a giant robot. Oh man. So yeah, I mean, Kamen's probably similar to that, but I didn't watch any of those. So yeah, man, we're going Ultraman for this battle all the way. All right, this is gonna wrap it up, y'all. Lord of the Rings: Fellowship of the Ring concerning Hobbits soundtrack. Wow, that's a lot. Versus Lord of the Rings: Return of the King. That made us tear at soundtrack. Dave, that was a long way to go, but we're just battling out with some tracks. Okay. All right, I'm gonna go the Hobbit one. I love that Fellowship of the Ring first soundtrack is great. I love the character, like you feel the characters in that soundtrack for the Hobbit. Yeah, that's such a good movie. And that soundtrack is so good. I always confuse Howard Shore and James Newton Howard. Howard Shore, right? I think Howard Shore did this. So good. It's really good, y'all. So yeah, for the win, Dave, I'm going to pick Fellowship of the Ring, Hobbits soundtrack. Steve, thank you so much for being here. Dave, thanks for being here. 16, we didn't even hit 20. Very sad, people. Come on now. Huck, have a great day. Thank you so much. Can't wait to hang on stream with you again. Dude, we're going to be hanging sooner than later. I've already made a thumbnail, y'all, for the 52-week movie challenge coming up at the end of this month. I got another video I think I'm going to start next week. We'll see if I come through with it. I may end up starting a new job, so then that'll throw a wrench into that. So I'm not going to tee up what it is, because that way, if it doesn't come to fruition, I won't be disappointed. But yeah, man, there y'all go. That is going to do it for this great day. Thank you all for coming out. As always, you can tell it's time to go because my voice is already gone, but it's always fun doing these with you guys every single Tuesday, talking movies, news, box office, and some new releases every single day, and playing a fun game of this versus that. So please keep coming back. Hit those like buttons, y'all, if you're catching this in the replay. It really is important for you to do that. So thank you very much. I'm going to thank my members really quick, and then we'll call it adieu. Until then, we'll catch you guys later. Thank you to all my Cafe members for their support. And if you'd like to be a Cafe member to help support the channel, please consider hitting that join button now. Thanks for watching, everybody. I appreciate you coming by and sharing your time with me. So until next time, be safe, be kind. We'll see you on the next one.